So, a 2013 interview just resurfaced and it's lighting Washington on fire. The mother of New York City's leading mayoral frontrunner, the Ugandan-born Democrat Zohran Mamdani, once said he is not an American at all. Yeah, you heard that right. Those 8 words just turned a local election into a national identity crisis. Republicans are seizing on it, Democrats are scrambling to defend it, and the Department of Justice now faces calls to review Mamdani's entire naturalization file. What started as a fringe letter from 2 GOP congressmen, Randy Fine of Florida and Andy Ogles of Tennessee, has exploded into a full-scale citizenship war. And the stakes? Nothing less than who gets to call themselves American. Let's rewind. Zohran Mamdani, a 33-year-old progressive Democrat born in Uganda, raised partly in India, became a U.S. citizen in 2018. He's now leading New York's mayoral race on a campaign built around tenant rights, public housing, and ending corporate giveaways. But this fall, House Republicans sent letters to Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding a formal investigation into Mamdani's citizenship. Their claim, he omitted radical affiliations, specifically ties to the Democratic Socialists of America, and made anti-U.S. or anti-Israel statements before becoming a citizen. Fox News framed it as a national security concern. Democrats called it Islamophobia dressed in patriotism. And now, out of nowhere, that old interview with his mother, filmmaker Mira Nair, has resurfaced. She told an Indian magazine he's not an American at all. The right pounced, the left flinched, and the middle of America, the people who just want some honesty, are left asking, can one offhand comment from a mother ignite a citizenship probe?
Here's where it gets explosive. Within hours of that clip trending, the Republican Club of Tennessee issued a statement. Mamdani's family admits he's not American. Deport him before he becomes mayor. Randy Fine doubled down, saying, if this is true, the DOJ must act. Andy Ogles followed with a letter to Bondi demanding an audit of Mamdani's 2018 application. Cable news lost its mind. Fox ran a banner, is NYC about to elect a non-American mayor? CNN called it a 21st century birther movement. Progressive activists poured onto X, formerly Twitter, accusing Republicans of weaponizing citizenship against Muslims. Mamdani himself broke silence on camera. My American identity was earned, not gifted. If they can question mine today, they'll question yours tomorrow. His words went viral, millions of views in hours, but the damage was done. The leaked interview had shifted the narrative from policy to patriotism. Conservative pundits pushed clips of Mira Nair as proof of foreign influence. Democratic strategists warned of Birther 2.0. And the Department of Justice? They said nothing. Silence. And silence is where scandals grow. Then came the curveball, foreign donation allegations. A Hindustan Times report claimed Mamdani's campaign had received a foreign-linked donation through a PAC, legally gray, politically fatal. Suddenly, citizenship wasn't a symbolic debate anymore. It was a paper trail threat. And that's when the DOJ's press office quietly confirmed they had received communications from Congress and are reviewing them. Translation, they're looking into it. Yeah, you heard that right. An active review of a leading Democrat's citizenship record weeks before an election.
The reaction was instant and ugly. Progressives called it a soft coup against representation. Conservatives called it accountability for the elite. The White House tried to stay out of it, but press secretary cracked under questioning, saying the president believes in equal application of the law. That one line, equal application, was interpreted as a signal. The DOJ has clearance to proceed. New York politics imploded. Local rivals demanded Mamdani release his naturalization papers. The New York Post ran front-page headlines about un-American ties. Even some Democratic donors quietly paused funding, not because they believed the claims, but because they smelled controversy. And here's the kicker. The foreign donation story, though unverified, gave the DOJ jurisdiction to cross-reference financial disclosures with citizenship records. That's how you turn a headline into a case file. Meanwhile, Mira Nair issued a statement. My comment was about his roots, not his allegiance. Too late. The soundbite had escaped the lab. It was being spliced into political ads, echoed on radio, weaponized by AI deep fakes. And if you think this is just a New York story, think again. Across America, politicians of color and first-generation immigrants are watching this case like a mirror. Because if citizenship can be relitigated after a decade, no one is safe from retroactive purity tests. Senator Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "They're coming for him today so they can come for you tomorrow." Republicans mocked her. Defending fraud again? Cable TV turned it into a boxing match. Loyalty versus law. And through it all, the polls barely moved. Mamdani still led by 2 points. Maybe Americans are desensitized to scandal. Maybe they just don't believe Washington anymore. But here's the part nobody's talking about. What happens if this actually goes forward?
If the DOJ were to open a formal denaturalization case, it would be historic. Fewer than 300 such cases have been pursued in modern U.S. history, and most targeted war criminals, not politicians. So why now? Politics. Pure and simple. Think about this. Trump faced impeachment twice and walked away more powerful. Biden faces investigations on family business deals. The new Republican playbook is retaliatory oversight. Hit back harder. For Trump's allies, going after Mamdani checks every box. Immigrant, Muslim, Democrat, and a symbol of the woke elite. To the GOP base, it's revenge wrapped as justice. To Democrats, it's a gut check. How far will they go to defend a progressive who makes moderates uneasy? Historically, this mirrors the McCarthy era, when loyalty tests became the weapon of the weak. Senators stood on TV reading lists of un-Americans. Lives were ruined by innuendo. Now it's digital McCarthyism. Tweets instead of telegrams, clips instead of hearings. And the bigger picture? We're redefining American citizenship through partisan lenses. When the Justice Department becomes the arbiter of belonging, democracy flirts with authoritarianism. Still, Republicans argue rules are rules. If someone lied on a form, they should face the law. It's a clean argument on paper, but politics isn't paper, it's power. And power now revolves around narrative. In that sense, the Mamdani case isn't about immigration, it's about identity control. Whose story of America wins? The one that says you belong by birth, or the one that says you belong by belief? Both sides are betting this fight defines the next decade of U.S. politics. And when you add the foreign donations allegations, you get the perfect storm, a legal pretext for a political purge. Here's the kicker. If the DOJ even opens a preliminary review, it creates a precedent. Future administrations could use citizenship as a weapon against any opponent. Imagine it. Republicans today, Democrats tomorrow, libertarians next week. That's how you unravel a republic without a single bullet fired. So what happens next? Scenario 1. The DOJ declines to investigate and Republicans scream cover-up. Mamdani wins the mayorship and becomes a symbol of resistance to political witch hunts. Scenario 2. The DOJ opens a review, even a limited one. That alone will ignite hearings in Congress. Expect Senate showdowns, immunity requests, and cameras everywhere. Scenario 3, a third party, perhaps a private law group, files a citizen complaint in federal court. That would drag the issue into months of litigation and media trial. Every scenario ends the same: polarization. Because this isn't about one man's passport. It's about whether the U.S. is still a nation of laws or a nation of loyalties. And while pundits debate, voters are deciding something quietly bigger: what kind of country they want to inherit. If this citizenship fight becomes the new normal, expect future campaigns to run background checks on ancestry instead of policy. Expect naturalized citizens to be treated as conditional Americans. Expect division to outlive the election. And if you think that sounds extreme, just ask Japanese Americans from the 1940s or Arab Americans after 9/11. Loyalty tests never end well. The difference now is they're back in high definition with hashtags. So where does that leave us? A mother's decade-old remark has become a national flashpoint. A candidate's citizenship is being used as a political weapon, and the Department of Justice, the same agency that once prosecuted civil rights cases, is now a pawn in a new kind of war. This is the America we built, and the America we risk breaking. So I'll ask you, do you think this is accountability or just theater? Should citizenship ever be used as a political weapon? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe because this story is far from over. If they can question his citizenship today, what stops them from questioning yours tomorrow? Yeah, think about that.